Okay, so before the student teacher observes, what challenges do we need to be aware of that they might face at this point?
So firstly, do they understand the purpose of active observation? Secondly, identifying the focus of observation to support their learning. That could include identifying the focus itself. Is it AFL they're looking at, differentiation? And then actually understanding what it is they're looking for in that lesson, because we can't assume that they have that knowledge. They often come to us with no experience, and with experienced colleagues, a lot of it is invisible.
Yeah, in the same vein as the second challenge, preparing for observations is another challenge that student teachers may face. We can't assume that they know how to do this without being properly shown how to do it by their mentors. And finally, the last challenge that we believe that student teachers are going to face would be to challenge their own perceptions and their preconceptions about what good teaching and learning looks like.
Of course. And Lauren, is it solely lessons that student teachers can be observing?
No, not at all. Obviously, lessons are the first thing that everybody would naturally think about, but also involving them in observing departmental meetings, and especially in primary school, the phase planning meetings. Getting the students involved in those will give them vital insight and understanding before they start their own practice.
Thank you. Okay, so Scott, let's imagine I'm a new mentor and I don't know how to prepare my student teacher for observation. What would you suggest?
The key strategy that I would suggest to a new mentor is to conduct a pre-briefing to establish the purpose, the strategies and the expectations of the observation. The content of these pre-briefings will depend largely on the relationship between the mentor and the student teacher. And also the needs of the student. So first and foremost, the purpose of the observation needs to be established. Are the student teachers aware of what the focus is? Are they looking at a group of learners during the lesson? Are they looking at a pedagogical strategy? Or are they specifically looking at progress during a lesson? It needs to be made very clear to the student teachers that the timing of the session is clear, so they know if they're going to be observing for the full hour, for half an hour, for a part of a lesson, a starter, a plenary. Likewise, in a meeting, are they attending a full departmental meeting, or are they just needed for a specific part of it? So the expectations of the role of the student within that role as the observer needs to be made clear, and any relevant information about the learning journey prior to the lesson that's been observed needs to be shared with the student teachers too. I think it's really important for student teachers to really dig deep and look for progress in lessons, and they need to try and identify how to quantify that progress. So how many learners in that class are meeting the learning intention and how many of them are exemplifying the success criteria. And ultimately, they then need to triangulate what they've seen. They need to go back at the end of the session, look at the books to see, can they join up all the dots? Can they connect the preparation, the observation and the evaluation?
Thank you. Okay, so you've done that thorough preparation, that pre-briefing with the student teacher. Lauren, what can the student teacher do next to go that extra few steps before they observe?
Well, one main thing they can do is to go and look at any materials that they have based on the focus that they are going to be observing. So, for example, they have loads of content from university, from SLT days, from any R&E that they have conducted themselves. I know a lot of mentors provide read, watch, listens and other readings for them. So in the same vein that Scott explained about triangulating what they've seen in the lesson, is to then also start making those links to the theory. And so they're bridging that gap between practice and theory.
Thank you both.